Hi, it's Dave. I just want to go through this scene from Lord of the Rings because it was mentioned, and I was watching through it, and I realized that I haven't watched these since I worked on a film, and just kind of going into a scene like this, where the score is just brilliant. Different things stood out to me now, having worked on a film and been in that situation where you've got a scene and you've got to decide where the music goes, where it changes, where the beats are. And I learned some lessons quite painfully, as I was completely inexperienced at scoring to picture when I did the film, and the director knew that, but he also had to kick my ass a couple of times about various things. And I also worked with a violinist and arranger who was playing on the score, who was very experienced, and he had to kick my ass about a couple of things as well. And those things became really obvious when looking at the score now, and they're things that I wouldn't have picked up on without having the experience of done it. The way that everybody immediately went, no, as soon as I sent the music, they were like, mm-mm, not like that. Kind of an interesting experience. So, this is the Gates of Argonath scene. Going to be stopping and starting a lot because there's tons to go through. Okay, so right off the bat, we come into the scene. One note, by the way, there sounds like violas. What is the atmosphere of that to you? It's kind of, to me, that's tension sort of leading to something. You know that something's coming, um, but it's not overly tense. It's just like apprehensive. There's something coming. Might be good or bad, but there's something coming. Now, what would you say that Aragorn's face is saying at that point? Would it be, there's something there, there's something coming? It kind of, the music matches what he's thinking. It's not saying epic landscape. It's not saying we're on, a river. It's musical equivalent of that expression, basically. Now, okay, let's wind that back. With Frodo, you get that warmth. Just get those horns come in, and they're kind of friendly. Frodo's friend to us. It's friendly. It's a slight reminder of Hobbiton. There's just a hint of that, even though it's not expressing what Frodo is looking like. It's expressing Frodo. And just kind of, I would say, just that little horn thing is like friendship, a callback to who Frodo is.
Argonath.
And then the music doesn't hit on the cut. Okay, and this is something that I got in trouble for. It brings back painful memories, but I guess it's a newbie uh, film scoring thing that you think you're being smart if you get your music to hit the cuts. Not always, but what I learned was that the director would usually be wanting the music to follow the emotional beats. He wants to hit the emotional beats, not the cuts. If you start hitting the cuts, it draws attention to the cuts. And basically, you want the cuts to go unnoticed. You don't want to draw attention to them. You want to draw attention to the story and the emotion. So here, if I move back, actually, after he touches Frodo's shoulder, I think the music disappears completely.
Argonath.
Comes in with strange, mysterious, slight. It's kind of, is it sinister or is it not? It's kind of like apprehension, I think, like that word that came up before. I think apprehensive is a good word for it.
Long have I desired to look upon the kings of old. My kin.
Now it swells a bit here. Now he says, long have I desired, my king. And my immediate gut reaction to that would be to kind of be like, the history of the kings and kind of like do some kind of like fanfare or something. But no, it actually even goes to silence after it. It doesn't hit the beat as well.
Long have I desired to look upon the kings of old,
Space.
my kin.
Nothing happens on that cut at all. And even the music goes down to silence and comes back in again on this shot. Okay? It is not following the cuts or the imagery. It's following the emotions. The emotions are building up once you realize what you're looking at. Hint of heroic there. It's kind of going through that uneasy thing. It hits that major chord, I think, or it might... Sounds like major. Ah, there we go. What we get there is... which is what the music is kind of making the audience feel. It's like, oh my God, wow. But it's not like, wow, amazing, brilliant. It's kind of like, whoa. You know, it's kind of intense. And it's not all positive. It's kind of apprehensive or inspiring, but not happy. Now, it did sort of hit the beat on the cut there, just slightly, but the music came in slightly after it. But it builds up here to this section, and it just rides through this section. And there's the interesting beat that it hits here is the hand coming in, and you notice it doesn't hit it when the hand enters the frame. It hits it when you realize what it is. Nothing when the face comes in. Because the audience is thinking, they're taking it in. If you bang onto that cut, onto that beat too early, you're sort of telling the audience what to do, and you're not giving them time to process and think and be in the moment. And it just sort of rides through this long shot. It doesn't hit any beats there. It doesn't hit the cut. So it's very interesting in that sense that, you know, this is obviously masterful work. It doesn't do the things that are obvious, but I think now, in retrospect, having gone through the process of trying to score scenes, not like this, but I did have to score a scene that was very epic looking. It was a character driving through the desert at sunset, and she was driving a car, but it's a child, but she was driving a car through the desert with the sun going down, and there was this big wide shot of the desert and the car going through it. It's super epic, and I did this big sweeping, full orchestral, not really Lawrence of Arabia style, but it was that kind of grandeur. And had someone working on the score, who had worked on some big movies. And he sent me some texts and just said kind of, can I give you some advice? And so I said yes, because I needed it. And he said some very interesting things. He said that you don't always have to reinforce what the visuals are doing. And the phrase that he said that became a mantra for me, for scoring the picture, was you don't have to say the same thing twice. If the visuals are saying epic, it doesn't always mean it's the right thing to do to make the music epic and just say epic visuals, epic music. Like in this case, I don't think it reaches a full orchestra at any point, and it certainly doesn't get loud at any point. It's always small groups of instruments. It's always sort of changing and flowing, and it takes its time. But what this music does do really masterfully is touch little emotional beats with each character that you see, but softly. It doesn't beat you over the head with it. If we go back to the beginning, we have, is that Boromir? There's even that one note is just serious, tense. Then Aragorn, just that feeling of apprehension, something coming. That face, something is coming. Friendship, warmth, even though Frodo's looking troubled. And he's looking serious. If you saw that shot, you might score that as like depressed, sad, worn out, exhausted, depleted. But it's not. They go for it's like warmth and friendship.
The Argonath.
The Argonath. Nothing in the music. Nothing happens. And it comes in slowly as the realization of what you're looking at slowly hits the viewer.
Long have I desired to look upon the kings of old.
So all that space in there. As a composer, might be looking to fill up that space, and it just really amazes me the wisdom and the sort of emotional intelligence of the space. Space is okay.
My king.
And then he mentions, my king, and it's the lineage of kings. And they don't do anything kingly in the music. It's mystery, sinister, but no, not sinister, awe-inspiring, but awe-inspiring in a way that it's scary and it's powerful. Not entirely good and it's not entirely bad. It's just fills you with awe. Again, builds. It goes slightly more triumphant there. You see, with Boromir, kind of looks like wow, and there's a hint of a smile and a sort of admiration for it. And the music does get slightly more triumphant there. Wow, holding that through this does hit that beat and builds up. That's about the loudest it gets, I think, through the whole thing. And then it just sets the tone. Hits the beat on the hand coming in when you realize what it is. Nothing for the face, but it sets the tone all the way. It's space. It's not busily telling you what to feel or what to think. It's just setting the tone and giving you space to process and be in the moment. And it flows across these shots. Sets the tone, flows through them, doesn't spell everything out. So the main thing for me was not to you don't always have to say the same thing twice. You don't have to say epic face, epic big statue. You set the tone of the scene, and it's just really fascinating. Well, a fascinating art form, and instinctively I'm kind of wired wrong for it. So that was another big lesson for me, was that I have to be really smart in going about it, and I have to really override my own instincts, because it's complicated and multi-layered, and my instant instincts are hit the beat, explain the emotion, represent what's on screen, and that's not always the right thing. You can be setting the tone, flowing through a moment, very slight ups and downs, with the horns. When you see Frodo, it doesn't represent what you're seeing, it represents Frodo, just in it was a chord, it was like 2 notes and then another note, and that was it. Just these little light brush strokes hinting at things. Obviously masterful work. So yeah, I just wanted to go through that scene, the minute, 90 seconds, less than 90 seconds. There's a lot going on. Boggles my mind managing that over was it 8 hours or something of of the whole trilogy, doing music for that. It's mind-boggling, but amazing, and it's really inspiring to see it. Anyway, hope that was useful to you, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.